Welcome back to One Grumpy Old Man and His Classics. So, in this video, you're going to see me finalising the ALFA. So, I've done the cam belt and I've cleaned the interior. So, as far as I'm concerned, I've done what I can with the car. So, the car's ready to go, really. So, what's the date today? So it's the 12th today, so next week, next Tuesday, it's going for its MOT. So fingers crossed it'll go through, and then you're going to see, hopefully you're going to see the start of the next project. So this intro could take a while, so grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee, bowl of crisps, whatever you fancy, and I'll tell you all about it.
All my friends know the low rider. The low rider is a little higher.
I'm doing that tongue thing again, aren't I? Do you know what? It's a terrible habit. I can't help it. Anyway, so next project. I've been working on and off on this for the last 4 years, I think. When I say 4 years, it's not constantly. It's the odd day here or there each year. We've done some, a few hours here and there on it. And what it is, it's a good friend of mine, Dick, who I used to work with 40 years ago. He has this, it's a Rover P6, so I'm going to call it Project Viking. So it's a 1967 Rover P6 2 litre. He's owned it 19 years, and I believe 10 years ago he laid it up in a garage. Nothing wrong with it, just parked it up, left it in his garage, and after the pandemic he decided he wanted to get it back on the road and possibly sell it, and he had a few problems, so I went down to have a look at it with him, and we soon discovered that through standing the engine had seized or locked up, and we tried everything, could not budge it. It was just, we put diesel down it, ATF, maybe we put so much stuff in this thing, it was coming out everywhere in the end. And so of course, you know, it was just lock solid. So the only other option was to try and source another engine, and of course, you know, Rover 2 litre, they're just not around. You know, I looked all the usual places, and I'd done a few searches on and off over a period of 18 months, couldn't find anything, and my friend done the same. And then just by chance, an engine popped up on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, I know, Facebook Marketplace, a bit of a minefield. So anyway, contacted this guy, and we ended up going there the next day and buying it. So we bought an engine and gearbox. It turns over and it's free, not seized or anything. The only problem is it had been sat under a bench for 20-30 years, so apparently his dad was quite a car enthusiast. He took it out of an old Rover that had expired through rust and just kept it as a spare. So we just had to take a chance. Anyway, this engine we bought was a 2 litre twin carb. So even though it fits on the gearbox and all this sort of stuff, because the car it came from was a manual, and the car it's going into is an auto, we didn't want to convert it to a manual because we need pedal box and all that sort of thing. That's not available. So there was a few bits we had to change to make the engine fit on the gearbox. But there's other implications, you know, like the throttle linkage and that's slightly different, and there's a few other hurdles that we're going to need to overcome. So basically, we've fitted this engine into the car. It's all bolted in and everything, but it all needs connecting up, you know, the exhaust, the throttle, fuel, all that type of stuff. So there's still quite a bit of work to do on it. And plus, I think I'm going to need to look at the brakes. Even though the car rolls, the brake pedal is rock hard, and I've not attempted to even try and free it off yet, because if it locks on, then we would be in all sorts of problems. So the plan is it's coming to my place, because where the car currently is, it's 20 miles away, so that's a 40-mile round trip, and you know, and I have to keep taking all my tools with me, and you get there and there's tools you need that you ain't got, and you know, it's just a bit of a pain. So we discussed it. I said, look, it's better off being in my driveway outside my garage. I've got all my tools in there, and I can just go out there, do a couple of hours every now and then, rather than trying to plan a day in and stuff. So it's going to be better here, and I can, like I say, I can just go out and tinker, do little bits and bobs and stuff. And if I have problems with the brakes, it's not in a lock-up where if we get it out and we've got a problem with the brakes, they lock on, we can't get it back in. If it's out here, it don't matter, because I can take all the wheels off, I can take all the brakes off, I can do all sorts. So the car's going to come here, and I'm just going to work on it and get it fit again, you know, get the engine completely in and buttoned up. Hopefully it runs. I've got to look at the fuel tank and all the fuel lines, because yeah, this car's not run in over 10 years. Don't know what it's going to be like in there. So there's a lot of things that need doing to it. So I've decided it's Project Viking, and it'll be coming here a couple of weeks maybe. So once the ALFA, assuming it passes MOT, it's going, and then I can arrange with my mate where they get a recovery truck and we get it brought here. So, you know, if you like what you see, and you know, stay tuned. You know, I do appreciate everyone that's that watches, and you know, just see what I get up to. So hopefully the new project will hopefully, you know, get you interested. So let's get on to the video of me just finishing the ALFA off, cam belt, clean the inside, and then we'll move on from there. So enjoy. Here we are today in Portsmouth, my friend Dick, and what have we got in this garage? Let's have a look. Look at that. 1964. Oh, 1967 Rover P6 2 litre. There is a bit of a story to this. I'll explain that later. But it's now got a 2.2 twin carb engine in it that we're slowly putting back together. So we'll get this beauty back on the road. Let's crack on. Weather's turned a bit on us, so being a little bit restricted really, so we've had to push Project Viking back in the garage. Mind you, it's quite a decent sized garage, so we can still work on it in here. The main aim today was to get the engine fully bolted back in properly, because we just literally, last time I came down here, we got the engine in, this replacement engine, and just sat it on its engine mounts and just put a couple of bolts in through the gearbox to the engine just to keep it in place. So today the aim is to get it all fully bolted up. So we've done that. All the bell housing bolts are in. Engine mounts are all fully back together. Quite a strange setup on the engine mounts, but they're done. We've put the servo back in, connected the brakes up. So we're just literally going around connecting up and putting back on what we can. because there is going to be, I say going to be, this will move from this location to Grumpy headquarters. Lovely. Bit of a blinking shame about the rain really, but never mind, we get done what we can done, and then whatever we don't get fitted can be put in the boot, and it can be worked on at a later date. Because this car is like 20 miles away from where I live, every time I come here it's like a 40-mile round trip, and for me and Dick to get the same time together isn't always convenient, so we don't get to spend much time on this. So decision has been made that once the ALFA is finished, which is literally a few weeks away, once that's finished and sold, then I'll have space on my driveway. So Project Viking will be coming to my gaff. So it's going to be better outside my garage because I can work on it as and when. I've got all my tools there. Like today I've had to just throw in the boot of the car all the tools I think I'm going to need, and there's been a few that I could have really done with that I didn't think of bringing. So being outside my garage, it's going to be so much easier. You know, I can just pop out, do a couple of hours work on it, and so on. So even though we've changed the engine, it's a bit of an unknown quantity really. We know it's free, it turns over. There's a bit of a story to this, why we're changing the engine, but I'll get onto that later. But apart from getting the engine all back together, getting it running, getting all the radiator in, get it all back together, get it running, it's going to need to look at, I'll need to look at the brakes. I think they're not seized, but I'm going to need to strip them down and have a good look at them. Of course, on the back they've got inboard brakes. Not looking forward to that. So, but anyway, we go through the brakes and all that sort of stuff. But for now, I'm just going to carry on putting this back together, and I'll tell you a bit later on why we're putting another engine in it. And this, even though this is a Rover P6 engine, it's not the right one for this car. This is a 2-litre car. This is actually a 2.2 engine, but I'll tell you about that in a bit. I'm attempting to do the cam belt, put it off for a while. I don't know why. I don't think it's going to be as difficult as I envisaged. I have, like I've said in the previous videos, that I've found a YouTuber in Italy who's a ALFA ROMEO tech, and he goes through it in quite some depth. So I'm going to watch it over a couple of times just to get it in my nut, you know. And but today I'm just going to get it all stripped down in preparation. I'm not going to attempt to do it all in one day. Just going to pace myself and think about it, because you know, this is quite an unusual setup with double overhead cam, and it's got to be quite precise. So I want to make sure I get this done properly. So I'm just digging in at the moment. I've already taken the decorative cover off, if you want to call it that. Taking the cover off down in the wheel arch. Got the wheel off, obviously. I'm going to get this cover off. I'm not sure if I have to take the crank off completely. It looks like it's got 4 bolts that maybe holds the outer crank on. I don't know, I'm not sure. So I'm just going to dig in a bit further, get some more of these covers off. I think I'm nearly there actually. Let's put that up there out of the way. Access, I must say, isn't too bad. It's quite good. So just want to remove this cover. This will expose the actual cam belt. It'd be interesting to see the condition of it, because it's only done 10,000 miles, but it was fitted in, there's a date on it, it says cam belt 25th of the 4th 17 at 53,000 miles, so it's done 62, so just under 10,000 miles. And of course, so what's that, 17, yeah, 8 years ago. So they do say 36,000 miles or 3 years, whatever comes first. So I don't want to risk it. It's got to be done. Might need to go and get smaller. I'm not sure if I'm going to get in there. It's a different size. You would be, wouldn't you? Why isn't everything standardised and the same size? I'm going to drop the gloves down there. Just bung them up there. That'll do. Right. Just get these bits out. I need to step down the size. I think it's that one. I mean, access is looking pretty good, so that's one consolation, I suppose. And then I've just flipped that the wrong way. So that's good, not too tight. The light keeps flickering a bit there. It's a bit it's getting a bit overcast. I think it's going to chuck it down later on, so I'll just get it stripped down to where I want to get it, and then next time I come back on video I'll be attempting to put it all back together. Alright, I believe I've got a bit more stripping down to do, because you have to take this rocker cover off. So I think I'm going to take the watching my flips, what do you call them? Anyway, I'll think of it in a minute. Bit of brain fade there. So spark things, you know. So yeah, it's going to be a fair bit of strip down, because this cover needs to be lifted off to expose the cam belt, and of course I need to get to the camshaft to put the locking tools on. So I'm going to I'll take you off camera for a minute, because you don't want to see me spending about half an hour stripping this down and then time lapsing it all. So I'll get on and do that. So I've got it fairly well stripped down at the moment. I just need to take the remaining bolts out to lift this plastic cover off to reveal the camshafts. I've got all the covers off down here. Fortunately the sprocket, crankshaft sprocket came off. I say sprocket, the crankshaft pulley came off nicely. So yeah, to get the actual cover off to reveal cam belt was quite involved. Lots and lots of different fixings. But anyway, cam belt, even though it's overdue, it's old, it's in good condition, but it's going to be changed anyway. Now I've got the cover off, looking at it, I've got a bit of a query to the to this one, because I thought this had the same sort of thing here. You slacken these 4 bolts off, and I thought the video I watched had bolts here, 4 bolts here that you slackened off as well. So when you do the tensioner, it allows these pulleys to move, but obviously not the the camshafts once you've got the camshaft locking kit in place. So I need to double check. But interestingly, where this has been done professionally before, they've actually got some red marks on here. You might be able to see them just on the pulley down there and on that one. And it's going to be difficult to get right down in there, but I noticed right down there where the tensioner is, that's got some red markings on it as well for its position. And the same right down below on the crankshaft toothed pulley, that's got some red marks on it as well. So that may help me when I do this, but I'm going to double check and triple check. So that's as far as I'm going at the moment. The next segment of video will see me lifting this cover off, getting it at top dead centre. Spark plugs are right down there, obviously twin sparks, so you've got 8 not 4, and let's take it from there. Camber's all done and fitted. Didn't film it because this was an absolute pig to do, because obviously, like I said, you had to lock the camshafts, you had to loosen off both pulleys so you've got a bit of movement on them for when you tension it, which is down in there. So filming it, putting it back together, took me hours and hours. So because I was making sure I was being very precise on doing this, because it was important and I didn't want any errors. So let's put all the covers back on, and time to fit the covers now. You won't believe it, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts that hold this thing on. Crazy, absolutely crazy. They don't want this to come off in a hurry, do they? Just gotta make sure I get this in the right sequence now. I think that's so many different length bolts, so I've got to make sure I get these in the right holes. Well, we'll find out in a minute what that was. It's a bit of a guessing game now, which one goes in where. Just trial and error, I think. No, that one don't go in there. No. Should have marked these really, shouldn't I? Let's take this cover off. And I'll just no. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't know whether that's got a I'll get them all in the right place. Can't bear it and bolts are in the wrong place. This is fairly good access down here. Right. I'm going to carry on working out which bolts go where, and then I'll catch you back up in a minute. Progress has been made. I didn't put it on camera because there's nothing unusual, so it's nothing that other people can't do. I've just put the covers back on. Don't know if you can see very well, there's another cover down there that goes on the bottom of the cam cover that covers the serpentine belt on the pulleys. Got that on. That was quite a faff. You know, I did take a picture of the routing of it, but I don't know if you can see it, it's just buried down there. So I've got a serpentine belt on, so I treated it to a new battery in it wasn't very good. Okay, it's a Halfords battery, yeah I know, but it's got a 4-year warranty, and this is a budget recommission, if you want to call it that. So I'm just putting a new battery on. One quite nice thing is that the battery was in it. It's original. It's like a jacket, I suppose, like a fleece type material jacket that goes around the battery. I guess that must be an original fitment. So put that back on this battery. I'll just clamp it all down, connect it up. Cheers. See if I can get this clamp nut on without losing it in the depths of the engine bay. A minute, that battery needs to go over a bit further. It's not quite fully. It's a snug fit. Where's my torch? You wouldn't think it'd be that difficult, would you? Just put the battery on. It's quite a snug fit. This strap. There's no adjustment on it, so just needs to. I can see. Oops. Oh, there we go. There's me. Stay there. That's it. Just needs a little bit of help just to get on there. He says. This battery definitely ain't going to move once it's snugged down, is it? There we go. Got it on now. There we go, that's it. Alright. It's going to be nice and tight.
Still going then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my neighbours walking their dogs. Get a lot of people wandering past, wanting to know what I'm doing. Talk to the dog, as you do, you know. Is that going on? I suppose it is. Oh yeah, must be quite a fine thread, that one. Right, just gonna button this battery up, get that nice and good. Why is that not doing that? Definitely the right one. Is that going up? Yeah, it is. Well, that must be a very fine thread. There we go. There we go. That's all snugged down. There we go. That's not going anywhere soon. bit. Let's make sure that's tight. It is. That's good. Alright, I'll do that in a minute. Just going to go and do covers on there nicely. Or is it? I think I might have knocked that. Relay box, there we go. Right. I've got to go and do a little errand. I'll be back shortly. Right, the Alpha is finished as far as I'm concerned. So it's down to getting the interior cleaned really. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad in here. It's pretty okay. It's just I'm just going to give the chairs and that a clean with my spot cleaner. I don't know if you can see this. The armrest has got a bit of in-ground grime in it. Like around here, it's quite, I don't know if you can see it, but the plastics are sticky. Not the dashboard, but this surround that goes around the console. This part of it isn't too bad, but the sides of the console may be a little bit sticky. But then you got the same problem. That's not too bad. A little bit sticky. So mainly it's the door pull handles that are sticky, front and back, part of the console, and this, you might be able to hear it as I pull my fingers off. See? But the rest of the car, the plastics are okay. Steering wheel wants a good clean. It's a bit in ground and the buttons are a bit dirty. Steering wheel's a little bit dirty. Not worn, just dirty. Dashboard is okay. Might benefit from a little bit of sort of silicone type trim restorer. I mean, it's not dirty in here. I just want to give it a clean. Just give it that, you know, it's that finishing touch for me. Yeah, I do like the centre dashboard a bit, if you want to call it that. You know, clock, fuel gauge, temperature gauge. You know, got the nice round dials in the middle. You've got like a little sort of display here. You know, you've got these different buttons here, fog lights front and rear, ASR, whatever that is, something to do with stability control or something like that, I don't know. You know, you've got the if you want to smoke in here, you know. I don't think that's ever been used. Might be a little bit crusty around the edge, but I don't think that's ever been used. Probably a good chance this has never been smoked in. You know, you've got you've got air conditioning. This has got to do with the radio info, minus and plus. Got these lovely controls for heating and ventilation and air conditioning. You know, really nice. You know, built-in wireless with CD player. You know, it's 5-speed gearbox. I don't know if you can see that on my fingers. There you go, look, black. You can see how much black's coming out on there, so it's, I might need to put this chair back a bit, give me a bit better access, that's it. So it needs quite a good scrub. It's going to take a while, so I don't think you're going to want to watch me do all of this because it's going to be boring. But yeah, it's getting better. but it's going to take me a while, a bit more than what you're going to want to watch. So you can see what I'm doing, gives you an idea, and then I'll take you back in after I've done this bit. Not that you'll be able to see a difference because it'll still look the same, but I can do the like, see if my hands still stick. Okay, so I'll show you in a minute when it's done. Something I should just say just briefly, even though I've pointed out this plastic is sticky round here and the door handles, it's not by any means anything to do with ALFA. There's other vehicles of probably this era that suffer with the same things, with some of the plastics deteriorating and going a little bit sticky. So it's by no means afflicted just to this particular brand of car. I can't think of the others offhand, but I have seen where there's other cars that end up with the same problem. This one's not so sticky, but it does need a good clean. I don't know if you can see that. I did clean the rear one as a trial. I'll show you. So I've already cleaned this one. I've done it as a test just to see how it come up, and this has come up really well. This was like the front one, pretty rank and sticky, and I've treated it with some silicone plastic trim type restorer stuff, and you know, it's come up pretty well. But anyway, I think it's time to crack on and clean this car. Well, clean the interior anyway. So this is my choice of upholstery cleaner. I mean, I think it's like a home one for doing your carpets and your furniture. So I mean, it's good enough for the cars. I've used it on plenty of cars and it works well. So this is my fabric type cleaner, and I've got Maguire's upholstery. It's not upholstery, it's trim cleaner. So this is what I'm going to use on the plastics, because I've done it on the rear handle as a test. So I'm just going to work it in around here. Start on this, just spray some off. So I'm going to spray plenty of this on there, and we'll see if we can eliminate all the, well, I know I can because I've already tested it on a bit, so I know it's going to take the stickiness off. Strange how it goes like this, really. Yeah, it's starting to come off already, so I'll just continue with this, so I know it works. Just turn that off a minute. Obviously the wetness
It's turned a little bit darker, so it will dry out. But these aren't terribly dirty. It's just give these a nice spruce up, you know, so it's all nice and clean in there. I'll carry on. Catch up in a minute.
As usual, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You know, if I could just ask if you would like, subscribe, leave me a thumbs up. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I do appreciate you following me. So the ALFA, as I've said, it's done. Just got MOT next week. We'll see how that goes. I'll give you an update. Until Project Viking arrives, I've not really got a lot to do. I must admit, I've got servicing to do on the other 4 cars in the fleet. You know, just the basic stuff: oil filter, air filter, that type of stuff. So I might just record that and just put like a little compilation together. You know, it's nothing interesting, I suppose. It's just oil and filter changes on my cars. I might try and do them all at the same time, you know, work from one, then jump to the next, and so on. I don't know. But something else may turn up that I need to do. I don't know. I've still got some work to do on Squeaky. Mrs. Grumpy Old Man doesn't like me calling her little old micro Squeaky. Got told off for that. But when I did put that video up, didn't get very many views. Yeah, understandably, it's not really a classic, is it? It's just an old banger. So maybe I'll throw some of that in. I don't know. Let me see what the next week brings. I haven't got any content in the banks, if you want to call it that, as such. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.